The award for Best Commentary is sponsored by Robert Serro of Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher. The last award goes to Matthew Kaminski for the work he did on Ukraine for the Wall Street Journal. Matt moved across Eurasia to view the same events from different points of view and offered beautifully written commentary that conveyed the urgency of unfolding history. He comes from Brussels, where he's just launched the European edition of Politico last week. And we have a citation, and it goes to Andrew Brown of the Wall Street Journal for China's World.
Thank you very much. I want to first thank Vladimir Putin for making me look smarter than I am, which may be not very hard, but it's the first weekend in March of last year when the little green men appeared in Crimea. I was supposed to go down with the rest of the pack, but I was a bit late, and by the time I was going to go, Russia closed the airspace in Crimea, so you couldn't get there, except on a 25-hour train ride. So I instead went to Donetsk, which was, nothing was going on there. And it was really haunting to come into Donetsk and realizing walking around Donetsk that no one was in charge. This was the most, one of the most Soviet working class cities, but there was no real separatist movement there at the time. But there was really no one in authority. And that weekend when I got there, there was a demonstration where suddenly, you know, out of nowhere, 5,000 people appeared. And a lot of them seemed to have their clocks set 1 hour back onto Moscow time because it turned out they had gotten bussed in from Rostov just across the border in Russia. And that was the prelude to a continuing and very horrible war. It is a war, even though a lot of us refuse to call it by that name. I no longer work for the Wall Street Journal, so I can now speak freely about my former colleagues. I want to thank, most of all, my colleagues at the Journal and Paul Gigot, who let one of his people spend months of last year hanging around in Russia and Ukraine and Europe. And I wouldn't work at Politico if I didn't put a plug in for Politico. We are now a global publication, and we are hiring. So thank you very much.